Welcome back to Live With. And tonight we have three, that's right, not one, not two, three terrific guests from all over the world. We are going first to the UK, where our good friend Suby is located. And I think we lost him, but we'll introduce him in a minute. We have James Grage, one of the owners, co-owners of BPI Nutrition. And we have Miss Bikini Olympia 2016, Courtney King, on the line as well. Who can we go to, Johnny? Can we go to Courtney first? There they are. We got them all on. Courtney, what's up?
Hello, guys. What's up? What's up? I'm super excited to be on the show. Thank you for having me. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. James, what's going on over there in Florida?
You know, end of the day here, just trying to get some stuff done as usual. Yeah. Trying to squeeze a million things into every day, making stuff happen.
Yeah. Suby, who's in your bathroom right now using it? Is Milo still there?
It was Flex, but he's left it. He's actually damaged the toilet as well, by the way. So if he wants, he needs to pay me for that.
Suby's got more people using his bathroom than even Joe Weider had. All right, let's go to you, Courtney, because you pretty much shocked the world at last year's Miss Bikini Olympia show. You won the title. How old were you when you won the title?
I was 23, so this was my third Olympia.
Yeah.
I did my first Olympia when I was 19, and then I did the 2015 Olympia where I placed third, and then this Olympia at 23. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. I go into every show very open-minded, so of course, you always want to be confident. I'm never cocky, because at the end of the day, anything can happen, and it's one of those things. If a judge likes you one day, they might not like you the next day, or if a judge prefers a certain look. So yeah, the Olympia was very overwhelming. I'm very, very blessed and happy that I got that title, and just ready for this year's Olympia.
Has anyone ever told you look like Shannon Doherty?
No, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, you're too young for that. That's why. I bet, James, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I look like the girl from 50 Shades of Grey because of my bangs. But I'm like, I don't really want to be associated with that movie. Yeah. That's kind of like freaky stuff. So, yeah.
Shannon Doherty was on that show, Beverly Hills 90210. That was like a big show when I was growing up.
So Dave's trying to date me. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make me old right now.
You're older than Courtney. We're all older than Courtney, that's for sure.
A little bit.
Yeah. Now, Courtney, my point in asking about the Olympias, were you surprised that you won? Was that a shocker for you, or did you have a good feeling going into the show?
No, I mean, I feel like that entire, the entire group of women up there all looks phenomenal, and everyone works extremely hard to even, become a pro, make it to the Olympia alone. So I felt like I was going to be somewhere in that mix, but I didn't know, I was going to win. I mean, no one really ever knows. Like, I didn't know I was going to get second at the Arnold. It's just one of those things. It's like you just take it for what it is, do your best, and work your butt off, and at the end of the day, it's in the judges' hands. It's really not in yours. If you did everything you could, though, and you brought your A game, then that's all that matters.
Right. My point is that the Arnold people don't seem to show you the love that the Olympia does. I mean, you came off of third place in 15. You went to the Arnold, and you were like fifth last year, and then you go and win the Olympia. I mean, there's really not that much consistency. I didn't think your conditioning was very different from show to show. What do you feel about that?
No, yeah, I know, and that's the thing. It's so weird. I feel like the number one thing about my prep last year for the Olympia is my head was in a very good spot. For the Arnold, I was kind of like in a really weird transition spot in my life. I just felt, I feel when your head's not in a good spot, your body won't follow no matter what. So this last prep I did for the Arnold and, and the Olympia, my head was in a good spot. I felt confident. Everything felt really good. The 2015 Arnold, my conditioning was way off on that show. I was blessed with fifth place, and I'll be the first one to admit that. I'm never someone who, if I don't blame it on the judges or this or that. If I'm off, I know I'm off. And that was the one show I was completely off for. But the Olympia and then this year's Arnold, my conditioning and how I looked, I thought I was spot on. So it just goes to show you never know, because I went into the Arnold and I lost. So
right. That's what's weird to me. That just I think you're coming in as Miss Olympia. Usually the Miss Olympia gets the nod, when it's close. And, at that point, you came in with pretty much the same look you had at the Olympia. So I was a little miffed. The reason I ask you that is because I find that the bikini judging is very not consistent. That's what I'm seeing. Like from one show to the other, they have a different look. And in reality, you could really rationalize anyone winning in that lineup in the top 5, because it really just depends on what you're looking for on that day. Does that make it uneasy for you? Like, do you lack confidence? Like when you get on stage, you're like, well, I don't know what's going to happen at this show,
I mean, it's weird because the Arnold, I went in very confident. I'm like, okay, I'm the champ. I'm going to go in, and it was a 1-point difference. But it was kind of inconsistency. I feel because Angelica, for instance, placed me at the Olympia and then beat me by a point. She does have more of a muscular than me, a lot more muscular than I. 10 years older than me, so she's hard figure. She dropped down, so she just has a more dense frame where I'm more petite. Great shape and great lines, but I am small. It goes to show you, I don't kind of inconsistent, because now at the Olympics this year, I don't looking for.
Courtney, it was before the Olympia, and the conversation that she and I had was, I told her, I said, I really honestly don't care how you place at the show. I said, I'm more interested in you as a person and your personality and the image that you have than I am how you do at the show. And, because for me, I'm looking at the way that the fitness industry is evolving and the way it's growing. And Courtney and I have talked a lot about this. How many of the women out there that compete for the very first time, so they go do an NPC show, what do they do it for? And they're doing it for a goal. Really, it's that simple. It's not this aspiration, to be Miss Olympia. The first time Courtney competed, I don't think that was, on her mind at the time. She was trying to set a goal for herself. And so I thought that Courtney had this really relatable image, that a lot of women can relate to, because let's face it, you watch someone evolve in the sport and you watch how the sport itself evolves. I don't think any women go in saying, hey, I want my intercostals, to come in, or, I'm really looking for that separation in my quads. It doesn't start that way. So, I just thought that she had a great image, and a lot of women, especially young women, could relate to her. And so that was a conversation we had. And so when she won, I was like, hey, this is awesome. This is great, but just use it as a springboard to go out there and, be able to share your message, just use the exposure from it. And even to this day, she'll tell you that, however she does at the Arnold or the Olympia, hey, it is what it is. That's not really why I brought her on board.
Yeah, definitely. James and me, I signed with BPI before I even went to the Olympia. I signed with BPI last year, July. And, James said it for himself. We even talked, it's kind of just more about how you brand yourself and the message you try to portray to people and what you do as a role model for others in this sport, setting an example and always, being very classy online and just showing who you are as a person, not so much about a title, even though I think that is a great platform, like James said, a great springboard to get that exposure and reach out to people who might not know anything about competing, or just to, inspire or send a message to.
Other companies contact you too, especially being Miss Olympia, you're going to get people wanting to use you. How do you decide on a company? Like, how do you say to yourself, you know what, hey, I'm going to go with BPI rather than Joe Schmo company? Because, like, what's the deciding factor? It can't always be money, I know that. So what made you feel comfortable enough to go with a company like BPI?
I just feel like it comes down to who you want to represent and what company wants to represent you and your image. James talked a lot, when we were in the UK, we had a big BPI athlete meeting, and it was more of, it was with Jay Cutler, James, and myself, and a bunch of the other ambassadors. And James talked a lot about, making the team a community, and I love that, where everyone just is like, we're all together and we're all like trying to portray the same message. And it was very touching how James and Jay kind of explained it, and just, it wasn't just like, oh, we're signing with the company because it's a cool look. And it was more about like an experience and a family together. And I knew right away, when I talked to James and when I get to hang out with these people at the expos, how it really feels like, just a place where it's fun. It doesn't feel like it's work. And BPI is a company that I full on represent and I back 100%. Their products are clean. I love the image. It's a great brand, and I love being with the company. So just go on from here, and I'm excited to do more tours with BPI and go around and meet new people. It's been a great ride so far.
James, when you're picking an athlete, and this, I think a lot of people who are watching this show have the same question as I do. When you're picking athletes, and now in this day and age, and you and I were talking a little before the show how the industry has really changed over the last 10 years so much. Do you really, because some companies do this, do you worry about social media, followers? Do you worry about like stuff like that, how many times they post on Instagram or Facebook, or are you still going for a personality? Are you still going for, an athlete?
No, that's a great question. I mean, look, it's been an evolution, right? When social media started becoming bigger and bigger, and trying to evaluate it and say, how do we use social media? I think in the very beginning, everyone made the same mistake and said, well, let's just focus on reach. How many followers or how many subscribers does a person have? And then everyone realized their mistake and said, no, it can't be just about reach. It's got to be about engagement. How engaged are they with their fan base? And then we looked at it and said, no, it just can't be about reach and about engagement. It's also growth is a factor, right? How fast is this person growing? Maybe they've got a small fan base, but they're growing really fast. Or maybe they got a big fan base and they didn't manage their brand very well and they're on the decline. But the fourth criteria is the most important to me. And this is what we talked a lot about at the seminar that Courtney's talking about, where we were in the UK. And that's quality of message. And it's got to be in alignment and values between a brand and an athlete or an ambassador, because who that person is says something about who we are as a brand, and vice versa. Who we are as a brand says something about who they are. And so there has to be that alignment. And at the end of the day, our message is really simple. We're about helping people achieve their goals and giving them all the tools that they need to do that. And look, it's not like it used to be where people believe that supplements were some sort of magic bullet, right? You take a fat burner and all of a sudden get shredded. That doesn't happen. Everyone knows that you need proper training, you need proper nutrition, and that supplements are just a supplemental part of that. So if we want to help people achieve their goals, we have to give them the other tools that they need, the training, the nutrition, the advice, the motivation, that inspiration. And so when I'm looking at athletes, I'm looking for people that are doing that in their own way. And they don't have to be experts. I don't expect them to have a PhD, but I expect them, even if it's about their journey, like, Courtney, her prep for a show, it's sharing that journey, and it's being real about it, sharing the ups and sharing the downs and being real about it, because you are a role model. And if you portray this fact that, you're ripped and shredded 365 and that it's easy, you're doing people a disservice, because we all know that it's not true. I mean, look, even those of us that are the most dedicated and eat super clean year round and train hard year round, it's still really difficult to maintain that kind of consistency. We all have those, pitfalls. And so I think that if you find people that are real about it, and like I said, share a genuine message, share their own story, that's the kind of people that I'm looking for. So they don't have to be professional athletes. They don't have to be social media superstars. But yeah, I mean, reach is still going to be important, right? Someone can have the best message in the world, but if no one hears it, it doesn't really help. So yeah, it's got to kind of be a combination of those things.
Courtney, going into this year's Olympia in September, obviously you're the reigning champ, even though you were beaten at the Arnold earlier in the year. Do you feel that you still have momentum? Do you still feel confident that you can defend your title, or are you concerned about Angelica Texera, who beat you in Columbus?
You know what? I feel like sometimes pressure produces results. So pressure can be a good thing. It can be, stressful at times, but having that pressure under you just makes me want to work harder. Regardless of the outcome at this year's Olympia, I have a great, support system with my family, company I work for, my boyfriend. I feel good no matter what going into it. And I'm going to train harder than I ever have. And, it's cool because I got to talk to Jay Cutler, and James actually told me this story when I lost the Arnold. He's like, Jay Cutler was the only one to come back after losing a title. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys know the bodybuilding history better than I do. And he came back and won again after he lost. So that was really cool. I got to talk to Jay about that, and him just telling me, don't get discouraged and don't be frustrated, because if you give it all you got, then you can. And I know I can still get another title under my belt, regardless of the outcome. Though, I'm gonna use that pressure to fuel me and hopefully bring my best and get another title this coming year.
Now, obviously, you and your boyfriend are both in the industry. Is it tough, when you got a million guys, I'm sure you get wacky fans sending you emails and people come up to you at shows. Do you guys have jealousy issues between the two of you at all, ever?
No, we actually we're completely fine. I've been in this industry long enough and I feel like Steve has as well.
So of course, yeah.
Yeah, so to me it's kind of like it's we don't get jealous about that stuff. When girls, are running up to Steve and like, "Hey, can I get a picture? Can you hold me?" I'm the one who's like, "Here, let me get the camera. Let me take it. Let me get the good angle." Like, I don't care at all. You're always going to have, and I feel like lots of people in the fitness industry, people get very insecure about that stuff, but we're good in our relationship, and he's not really in the competing world. He does more YouTube stuff, and I know Suby met him this weekend, and James knows him pretty well. So Steve is really not in the competing world anymore. Right. It's one of those things. He supports me no matter what, but he's also a great person I kind of look to as far as advice and how to brand yourself. He made a great name for himself without ever winning any type of title. Yes, he's done the Olympia. Yes, he's a pro, but he's never won anything big like an Arnold or the Olympia. I think the best he ever got at the Olympia was like 5th, I think. So, yeah.
Shame on you. You don't know that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why did Steve stop competing?
He actually did a show this year in Hawaii. So he thought it'd be fun with me prepping. He's like, "All right, I'll jump in it with you. Like, I'll prep with you. I don't want to go to Hawaii and be fat, so I'll get shredded." I'm like, whatever, because we were going to the Arnold Australia right after. So I did the Arnold Ohio, Hawaii, and then Australia. He ended up placing 6th. He got 6th place. He was kind of bummed because Steve was pretty competitive. But right now, he even said, he's like, all the guys are short and they look like bodybuilders in board shorts. He's like, I can't compete with it. And he just was like, you know what? It was fun. It was good for his YouTube channel. And I got to make him food every day. So he was like blessed and super lucky. But yeah, that was the last time he got on stage. It was like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, he's got to do classic physique because he's got legs and he's got calves. Like,
yeah, I know. He does. I'm like, I just don't know if competing is his thing anymore at all. But that's okay.
Suby, let me ask you a question. You always bring in all the stars over there to the UK. I'm waiting for you to bring me in. We're trying to figure out dates. But what made you bring Courtney in? Because I know you always have something going on in your mind as to how you're going to market people. What was your thoughts on bringing Courtney to the UK?
Well, basically, the guys at BPI, like James, and we have a full team out here in the UK. I work for BPI out here in the UK as well. So there was the Body Power Expo, and obviously Courtney is one of our big stars for our company. So bringing her over just made sense. So what we did the expo for the weekend, and what we did is Monday to Wednesday we toured. So me and Courtney were like roadies, homies, or whatever you want to call it. So we went days, and it was crazy. So it was like early starts, late nights, and loads of pre-workout. And Courtney will tell you some stories with that as well. So.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. Me and Suby, we're just a good team, Suby. We went, we hung out with a ton of the store owners and got to meet a lot of people that came by, and it was really cool getting to connect with everyone. And the BPI team over in the UK is absolutely phenomenal. They're such an awesome group of guys, and I felt so comfortable. I was hanging out with all the guys, and I had a blast. Every store tour, every visit, they were so accommodating. They were so great to me, the best thing is I built a friendship with them all. So I absolutely loved being over there, and it was an awesome time.
Well, I think you got a good team going together over there at BPI. It sounds like, obviously, you can't go wrong with Jay Cutler, but Courtney, you seem to be a great ambassador. James, I want to thank you for coming on and giving us some insights into the supplement industry. We probably could do a whole show together. We probably should in the future about the current state of the industry, the evolution of the industry, and where it's going, because we had a little conversation before, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Keep up the great work and the great products over there.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show. Definitely fun jumping on here. So, yeah, I'd look forward to it. Let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely. And Courtney, best of luck. Will we see you on stage before the Miss Olympia?
I don't know. Possibly. I might jump in one show as a warm-up. It would be like the week before. But I kind of want to save what I'm going to bring to the stage for the Olympia. It's pretty exciting. I'll get to go there this year. I think I'm most excited because I'm just going to be on the elevator. You have all the Olympians are on the elevator. I'm like, wow, that's cool. At the New Orleans. Woo! What a goal.
Well, best of luck up there. I saw you at your first show. We talked about it before we aired. I interviewed you. You had just got back from your prom the day before, and you were at your first show in Boston there, and you won. And that was at 18 years of age, and now you're Miss Olympia. So I've seen you grow up, so to speak, right in front of the camera, and it's great to see you succeed so much.
It's been a good ride, and I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. I'm going to be down in Florida in a week or two, James, so we're going to be shooting some awesome content. We still got to bring Suby over to the States. Come on, yeah. Suby. Get over here, man.
Wait for an invite from James.
Come on. We got to get you over here. We love you.
We'll hire you as a correspondent, Suby.
Hey, awesome, man.
Suby, thanks for bringing. Once again, Suby always calls me every time he's got people staying with him, and we would have filmed this weekend, but we were at the New York Pro. So I appreciate Suby always thinking about us and bringing the stars on the show. Guys, thank you so much. But for now, we're out of time. That'll take us to the end of another episode of Live With. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.